So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished repairing a pump, not a pump, but a gate valve out here. We did some work in the home, and we shut off the gate valve, the old gate valve sitting over here on the ground. And you know, we know that the older they are, the more likely they are to fail, so we're real gentle with them. Unfortunately, the disc is fused shut, which means, you know, it was on. You know, the house was working perfectly fine. When we shut it off, and then, you know, and it's seated right here, then what happened is the stem that comes from this handle, the stem snapped, and it left this dropped in the hole. So sorry about the bad lighting here. Anyway, so valve's done. We let the homeowner know, and they told us, yeah, go ahead and let's replace it. So now we got you here is a quarter turn shut off ball valve. This is straight out of Ferguson ProFlow brand, the FNW, and it's just tied right back in. We have the well is filling, the holding tank is filling up right now. We got the power back on, and you should see, hopefully that should go back up to 50-60 pounds where it was before, once the tank is full. We have the valve off because all of this is glued back together. What you had before was Schedule 40, no big deal. We just don't like Schedule 40 plastic, especially coming out of a well, so we use Schedule 80, twice as thick, twice as durable, and then we tied back into your existing piping down here. We can't turn it on the house yet because we want to let this sit for at least a couple hours. If we were here monitoring it, maybe an hour, we'd turn it back on, but if one of these joints lets go, then we've wasted all the time that we've worked on it so far, and we got to start again. So what we did, you know, before it was just a 90 down, tied in, back into the PVC. What we did out here, quarter turn valve, which is nice now, gave you a Schedule 80 union. You know, they had one here, but it's old, and that, you know, just not going to work anymore. So brand new Schedule 80 union. And then, of course, at the end, we give you a bleed down valve. What happened before, everything from there to the top of the tank, when you take this apart, you know, which we did, we unscrewed the valve. It hits this back wall, this little pallet you've got right here, with a ton of pressure. Even the homeowner came on, was very interested to know, you know, where all the pressure is coming from. So now what you've got, if you ever need to work on this, which means if something else happens here with that bushing or that piece of pipe, you can break the union loose, you can spin the whole thing off, replace it, spin the whole thing back on, put it back together. Just be mindful to use some plumber's grease in there on that O-ring that sits in there. So now you can drain the whole thing down. Just put a hose on it. If you don't want all the water in this area right here, put a hose on it, direct it away from the well area, and open this up. You know, shut the power off over there first, you know, of course, and then you know, open up the valve, open up the main valve, open up this valve, drain it all the way down, and then unscrew it. So you're in great shape now. You know, unfortunately this tank is leaning. You know, we went to go put it together, and so either the platform itself was poured at an angle, or it's settled over time with some leakage in the soil. We don't know. All I know is it's going downhill. I mean, from here and the camera view, it looks pretty level, but it's literally going downhill. So what we had to do is dig down and lift up on the pipe, being mindful not to put pressure on that 90, because if you do, you end up you know, causing stress, and then it cracks. So you can see down low, maybe you can't see down low, but it's down there in the dark. But underneath there, what we have is a piece of Schedule 80 plastic as a little support for the pipe. And then, of course, we took about 3-4 wraps of Gorilla Tape, put it on top, just so it's not plastic against plastic down there, and it is cold water, so there's no expansion or contraction. But what it is, it gives you all the support on the pipe lateral and no stress on that 90, because you don't want any stress on that 90. What I would recommend in here, when you guys are ready to you know, turn this on and get going, I wouldn't throw dirt back in there, you know, because it just pushes down on the pipe. And I would come in with pea gravel. You know, this is a little big, you know, this gravel you got right here, but you get a bag or two of pea gravel from Lowe's, Home Depot, and pour it in there. It self-settles, and it supports that pipe. You can do sand as well, but you don't want any downward pressure. You know, with that little piece of plastic in there, once this soil gets saturated again, when it starts raining, you know, it will imprint into the soil, so it'll drop down, which leaves a lot of stress on the pipe, and we don't want that. So I would say pea gravel. All the loose soil comes out, pea gravel goes in. I'd fill it right back up at the top and just leave it. You know, maybe a little bit of dirt on top, but you want this nice and supported. So anyways, we're gonna wrap this right now. It's out in the sun, so we don't want you know, PVC will last a long time, and it's been in the sun anyways, but we like to wrap it with the 10 mil wrap, and that protects it from UV rays. So we're gonna wrap that pipe all the way down, and then we're gonna go inside, take a look at another little project outside of that. This installation is done.